seeing to ensuring that the child gets engaged well. So these are the three attributes. Now, when it comes to health and the nourishment of the child, that is something which is like, of course, it takes a village to grow a child, but definitely it's the parents who take the complete onus of it. Number one. When it comes to sadhana and it comes to occupation duties, both are given equal weightage. But just as we give an alternate inspiration as a teacher who teaches the child material studies, similarly, we should also give our kids an alternate inspiration for being spiritually trained also. There are numerous forums in which kids are getting beautifully trained. So we need to facilitate that. So we become facilitators of both spiritual and material education at the same time. Just as we check homework, बच्चे का homework check करते हैं, like that we also do check on their spiritual homework and their progress. We do that also. And coming to their engagement very healthy, skill development, especially in children, there has to be a lot of emphasis given on skill development. That is something with a collaborative activity of the teachers and the parents together to identify the potential of the child and to engage that very usefully for the betterment, their own Krishna conscious betterment and for the welfare of the society. These are all the aspects. I just given you what acharyas say in principle, but you can ask. There are a lot of experts in the art of parenting. Yeah, so you can ask them. I have no experience. Hari. I guess time is up. Dhruvin Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, we have now time to start with our today's session. So once again, welcome to all the new joiners, participants who have joined, as well as the YouTube watchers who are watching the live stream. Once again, a very warm welcome after a small mini vacation and break of 2-3 days. And we'll be continuing today with the third chapter and to understand to be a good role model from the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So what do you think?
Hari. First of all, I wanted to check you're all able to hear me very clearly. There's no disturbance or any problem, right? All right. Okay, I hope जो भी हम पढ़े हैं first, second chapter, you're not forgotten. You all remember it well? It's there intact. All right. On that note, we would like to start our third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So here we go. Chapter 3, which is session C, 3, taken by our spiritual friend Sanatan Dharmadas. So let's begin the Gita, the art of inner peace. I'll disable the annotation so that there are no painters who will paint and show their talents here. All right, so let's start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhobhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangham Langayate Girim Yatkrpatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Paramananda Madhavam. Hare Krishna, once again a very very warm welcome to all of you who have come for this session. Very grateful. मुझे वीडियो ऑन करने के लिए I don't have to pitch at all. I guess Dhruvin Prabhu, you did the setting पहले से ही. You made everybody turn on the videos. So nice. Thank you. When videos are full, then their energy is house full. All right. So let us go ahead and proceed. The major problem that Arjuna had in fighting the war was he considered his action of fighting to be abominable. Fighting is a bad thing to do. War is a bad thing. Ladna, jhagadna, marna, pitna is not ethical. And especially when it comes to your relatives. अपने स्वजनों की बात आती है, when the question is about your relatives, it's absolutely bad to kill your relatives. Okay, relatives bhi ho gaya. But there are many great souls who are there. Many great souls like Drona, who is Guru, Kripacharya. There is Bhishma, and all these great souls. Do I have to kill them? Yes, I have to kill them if I have to win this war. Without that, we'll not be able to win this war. So killing them was inevitable, and that is why Arjuna felt that my karma is going to lead to sins. So Lord Krishna teaches a beautiful concept in the 3rd chapter, by which he tells all of us that we can convert our karma into divinity. People say work is worship. How many of you heard the statement, work is worship? हाँ, कर्म ही पूजा है. Work is worship. Yes, मैं work करता हूँ, that is my worship. But where is the divinity? Suppose there is somebody working in the factory. Factory, you're producing nuts and bolt. What is divinity in that? Or somebody is doing a program, coding program. Chak, tak, 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 tak. Where is the divinity? What kind of worship are you doing? Where is the divinity to call the work as worship? Kidhar hai ho? So Lord Krishna gives a very beautiful concept of how we can convert the work into worship. So he speaks that in this particular verse, 3rd chapter, text number 9. Yajñarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanah tadhartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Translation. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. And in that way, you will always remain free from bondage. Hare Krishna. So Arjuna, your major concern is work, and that is especially the work of killing will definitely produce karma. Hare Krishna. Okay, it's fine. The vision is fine. It got a little blood in between. Yeah, okay now. So the major concern that Arjuna had was, my work is ghastly. My work is something that's going to make me notorious. My work is something that's going to be entangling me in this world. Entangling me. But here, very clearly, Krishna is telling, okay, if that is your concern, because karma you have to do. So Arjuna was telling, अरे कर्म तो करूंगा ही नहीं मैं. कर्म नहीं करूंगा तो reaction नहीं मिलेगा. Yes. If you don't sow the seed, will you get a plant? No, you will not get a plant. That was the logic of Arjuna. But Krishna said, ऐसा नहीं होता Arjuna. ऐसा नहीं होता. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. Because we need to understand that we are made in such a way that we are active beings. Nahi kaschit chanamapi jatu tisnatya karmakrit. There is at no point of time we can be finger on the lip silent. चुपचाप नहीं रह सकते. We cannot be like that. We have to work. We are active beings. हम काम करेंगे. Sometimes we get to know of some babas. And people are saying, ये मशहूर बाबा है. और ये बाबा ने जो है पिछले 30 साल में एक शब्द भी नहीं बोला है. These babas, these people have not spoken even a word for the last 30 years. And that baba is smiling there. He's telling, Satya Vachan, Satya Vachan. And then whenever he needs something, he has a bow, he has a slate. Yes, he has a slate tied around his neck. We all devotees have bead bags around our neck. Yes, हमारे गले में bead bag होती है. उनके गले में क्या होती है? उनके गले में एक slate होती है. And he has a chalk. फिर चाय पिला दीजिए. So he takes a chalk and writes on the board, चाय पिला दीजिए. Yes, पनीर सब्जी खिला दीजिए. पानी पूरी खिला दीजिए, गोलगप्पे खिला दीजिए. Like that person writes. What kind of so what is happening? Instead of you talking with your mouth, you're talking with a chalk. That is not maunam. Maun means to stop nonsensical talk. Similarly, akarma doesn't mean to stop karma, but akarma means to stop nonsensical karma and begin your divinity, converting your work into worship. And that's what Lord Krishna mentions as yajna arthat karmano anya. So you do karma, but for what? Yajna arthat. That means your karma should be a yajna. So whatever we do is a yajna. Yajna means a sacrifice. And the Shastras mentioned yajno vai Vishnuhu. Yajna is non-different from Vishnu. And yajna is performed for the satisfaction of Vishnu. What if I don't do yajna for the satisfaction of Vishnu? Kya hoga? Anyatra. Otherwise, loko ayam karma bandhana. You will be bound by your karma in this world. This karma binds you in this world. So we have to convert our work into divinity. We have to convert our work into yajna. And tad artham, with that artha, with that objective, with that intention, karma kaunteya, when you do karma, mukta sangha samachara. So karma binds you in this world, but when the same karma is offered to Vishnu, it liberates you from this world. Just like sometimes we ask, is knife good or bad? What do you say? Knife, chakku, chakku. Dekhiye, chakku. You've seen chakku. In Gujarati, they call it chappu. Yes, chappu bulate hai na, Dhruvin bro? Yes, chakku. Is it good or bad? You have disabled chatting? अरे chat enable कर दीजिए प्रभु. Let them chat. Let them type. You are all very intelligent. You heard my lecture, I think. समझ गए इसलिए. So knife is neither good nor bad. It depends how it is being used, or rather who is doing it and for what it is being used. So if knife is used for killing somebody, to threaten somebody, used for kidnapping, extorting, for that purpose you're using a knife, then the knife is bad. On the other hand, when you're using the same knife, for saving a person's life, yes, like in operation, then that's a very good use of knife. Similarly, karma, when used for pleasing oneself, that is considered to be binding to this world. On the other hand, the same karma, when used for pleasing Vishnu, that karma will deliver you from this world. So it's all about intention. Two things. First is intention, and the second one is about offering. So there is intention and offering. So all depends upon what is the end. Now you may say, Prabhuji, we are all corporates. Can I just quickly know your profession, what you all do? Don't worry, just share it. I want to know. जो भी आप करते हैं. Wow. Food business, HR, student, IT professional, teacher, engineer, business analysts, housewife, homemaker, wonderful, student, medical professional, software engineer. Very good. Nice. Telugu teacher. Wow, wonderful. Interesting. Very sweet language. Senior engineer. Retired from Air India flying. Wonderful, wonderful. Very nice. And I am a monk. Yes, so we have all our professions lined up. Now, how do we convert this into yajna? So first thing that is most important is before you go to work, we all wear an identity tag. So we have something. How many of you carry iCard? Whether you're a student, whether you're a professional, we all wear iCard. What about housewives? They also have an identity card. Homemaker, housewife, wo bhi hai. So we have an ID card. And when I go to workplace, you have to take out your ID card and show it. Yes. Okay, all right. Come in. No ID card, get out. So we always, before going to work, wear an ID card and then go to work. Of course, Prabhuji, abhi to work from home hai. ID card kidhar rakha bhul gaye. We forgot where is the ID card also. We have no idea where is the ID card. So that's what we do. So we understand that we always take the ID card and then go to work. So when we take the ID card, we are having a particular identity. Well, I'm a software engineer. I'm assistant manager. I do this. Or I'm a flying officer of Air India, etc. I'm a student. But the most important ID card we wear when we go for work is to be a Krishna Das, a servant of Krishna. When we wear this identity card and then go for work, that is when the yajna begins. That I am a servant of God. Although I may be going to this institution, this may be my material designation, but there's another ID card which is behind. So we put ID card here, in our pockets. But what's behind the pocket? Behind the pocket is our heart. So to carry that ID card in our heart is very important. That is where the yajna actually begins. Excuse me. So that's where yajna begins. And then every profession produces a fruit. And that fruit has to be engaged in Krishna's service. Yes. Whatever percentage, whatever salary one gets, whatever fruit one gets, a portion of it, definitely, as per one's faith, should be engaged in the service of Lord. When you do that, then your work is purified. So it's about identity, and number two is about offering results. When we combine these two things, then we actually perform the yajna. In fact, many of my students, they have a habit, very good habit. Even before they start their work, it may be the office duties, they pray, Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. They pray to Guru, they pray to Prabhupada, they pray to Mahaprabhu, they pray to Krishna, Panchtattva, Radharani, everybody. And then they begin their work. So when we do that, we will be definitely very conscious that we are Krishna Das. If you are Krishna Das, you are Bindas. If you're Krishna Das, you're Bindas. If you're Maya Das, you're Udas. So take your call. You want to be Bindas or you want to be Udas? What about you? You want to be Bindas or Udas? Yes? Bindas. Krishna Das, Bindas. Maya Das, Sada Udas. So now that is a call that you have to take. All right? And there are a few things very wonderfully designed. The slides are actually designed by one of my very wonderful, noble students, Parashuram Shankar Narayan Prabhu. So he's put, yes. The very meaning of yajna is to please Vishnu. So here is a Prithu Maharaj, a person who performed 99 yajnas. And when you do the 100th yajna, that time Vishnu comes after 100 yajnas. But each time he was doing yajna, Indra was becoming jealous and stealing the horse. So then Brahmaji told him, you do the greatest yajna by not doing the yajna. So he didn't do the yajna, but still Vishnu appeared because he made a great sacrifice. He pleased the Lord by his wonderful behavior. So this is Prithu Maharaj, who did yajna by not doing the 100th yajna. Yeah. So Krishna consciousness is the greatest yajna. In fact, Lord Krishna says, Yajnanam japa yajñosmi. And a person who is performing this Krishna conscious yajna, he will get everything. All facilities will be begotten by such a person. He doesn't have to worry. Mahasucha. Krishna says very clearly, Ananyas chintayanto mam yajana mam upasate tesham nityabhi yuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. Whatever you don't have, I will give you. And whatever you have, I'll protect it. You just keep doing Krishna consciousness. This Lord directly says in the 9th chapter, verse number 22. It's a direct statement. Yes. So working in Krishna consciousness and its benefits is something which I already told all of you. Coming to the next verse. So this 3rd chapter contains another very important verse. And the verse is as follows. Yadyadacharati sreshtas tattadeveta janah sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate. Translation. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. This verse is for leaders. How many of you are leaders here? Sirf main hi hu kya? Okay, Parth has also realized she's a leader. Yes, you are. Believe it or not, each and every one of you here is a leader. It's fact. We are all leaders in one way or the other. Sochi, just think over it. Do we have somebody who look up to us and follows us? Yes, we do. So we all are leader in one way or the other. And if you say, bro, Jesus, nobody who follows me, koi nahi hai mera. Mere piche, aage, piche, upar, niche, koi nahi hai. Even if you say that, you have to lead one person in your life. Who is that? Who is the one person you have to lead in your life? You yourself. Yani ki khud ko to lead karna padta hai. Definitely you have to lead yourself. So we all are leaders in that sense. And this is a shloka for all leaders that Lord Krishna specifically mentions. And what is this shloka telling? Yadyat acharati sreshthas. Whatever activities, acharan is activities. Great people do. It is not about yadyat pracharati sreshtas. See, there is this phrase in English which says that your actions speak so loud that I'm not able to hear what you're saying. Your actions are speaking so loud that I am unable to hear what you are saying. मुझे आप जो बोल रहे हो कुछ सुनाई नहीं दे रहा, लेकिन आप जो कर रहे हो. That is why leaders are all about आचरण, behavior, exhibiting the right behavior and exhibiting the right activity. Yes. Personally, I have seen that I observed this in the December month. Some of the days I couldn't go for book distribution owing to several reasons. And those are the days when many devotees opted out. But when I personally went, many devotees would come. So the presence of a leader matters. That's something I understood. So my acharan has to be really good. Yad yad acharati sreshtas. So whatever a leader does, yes, that's what tatad eveturo jana. That is what the masses will follow. Masses simply follow the leader. And that is why Modi ji also, what did he do? He took Jadu and he started sweeping the streets. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Sweep. So that everybody watches and they do it. They follow the leader, right? They follow the leader simply like that. So yadyat achariti srishtas tattad evituro jana. So Krishna is telling, especially when you become a devotee, you have a standard to set. You have a standard to set. Whatever standard you say, pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. Whatever standard you set, you will definitely, and others will simply follow the standard. I'll just give an example and then we'll move to the next sloka. This example of Pandavas who had gone to the forest in their vanvas. Once Draupadi was feeling thirsty, so he requested her youngest husband, Sahadev, could you go and get some water? And Sahadev had gone and not come back for a long time. We all know the story. Then she requested Nakul, Nakul, can you please go and see what happened to your brother, why he has not come back? So he also goes and he's also not back. And everyone starts to worry. Arjuna says, now you don't worry, I'll go and find my younger brothers, wherever they are. So he goes across the banks of the river and there he sees the corpse of his two brothers. They were dead, lifeless, completely lifeless. So he was, he started challenging, who is the one who is dared to perform such an activity, heinous activity of killing my brothers? Samne aao, himmat hai to. So there was a voice. The voice said that nobody can take water from this particular pond without actually answering my questions. And these both of them, they dared to do this, and as a result, they're lying lifeless. Arjun said, come on, we are Pandavas. He drank, and he was also lifeless. And then Bhima went, and Bhima too challenged. And then he ended up drinking the water. He was also lifeless. Now, this is the behavior of these four Pandavas. But now let us compare their behavior with the behavior of the leader. Who is the leader? Yudhishthir Maharaj. When Yudhishthir Maharaj went there, as soon as he heard the divine sound, he folded his palms and he offered his obeisances to that voice and asked that whatever you desire, I shall definitely fulfill that. And then the divine voice asked a lot of questions to Yudhishthir Maharaj. What is heavier than the earth? Mother is heavier than the earth. Who is taller than the sky? The father is taller than the sky. What is swifter than the wind? Mind is swifter than the wind. What is the most amazing thing that you find in this entire world? Ahani, ahani, bhutani, achanti gamalayam. So every day there's somebody or the other who is dying and leaving to the mode of Yamaraj. But still, people in this world think, I will go on forever. This is the most amazing thing. So like that, he answered all questions. And yeah, the person revealed his form as a yaksha. Yaksha came and he said, I'm so happy with you, Yudhishthir. I'm so happy that now I would like to give back your one brother back to life. So first of all, he exhibited the right behavior by humbly answering to all the queries. The second right behavior he did was, he could have said, okay, what to do? Well, let's do some inky pinky between inky pinky ponky. Let me do na selection. Akkad bakkad bambe wo. Between Bhim and Arjun. In dono mein karte hain. Jo milega wo le lenge usko. No. He chooses Nakul. And this is something that really amazes even the Yaksha. He says, why Nakul? Come on, I heard that you're going to be having a war, right? And in your war, you'll definitely need Bhima or Arjun. Why are you choosing Nakul? Yes, why? So he said that we were two mothers we had, Kunti Mata and Madri Mata. So of Kunti Mata's son, I exist. Similarly, of Mother Madri's sons, one of them should definitely exist. Hence, I choose Nakul. And this answer really impressed. What an ideal behavior. What an ideal behavior. So, thus, I give all your brothers back to life. Yes. So, this is the acharan of a leader. This is an acharan of a Vaishnava. The moment you become Vaishnava, you're a leader because the world is looking up to you. The moment you're a devotee, people will look up to you. The moment people see this tilak, you go out with this tilak, people say, "Arey, aap to Swami ji hai. Aap to Maharaj." In Maharashtra, whether you are shaven head or you're with hair, you're with saffron or you're with white, you're Maharaj by default. Bola Maharaj, Bola Mauli. Mauli, Maharaj, that's how they address you in Maharashtra. So we tell, even I'm not a sannyasi, I'm not Maharaj, I'm a das. Yes. So we need to understand that we are being watched. So as devotees, we have an example to set for people. And if devotees don't follow principles properly, devotees don't follow shastras properly, then there is no hope for the world. So world is actually looking up to devotees. Acharan. Dharma stapana hetu sadhurya vyavahar. Just by ideal dealings and good behavior, a lot of good preaching work can be done. I'd like to give you an example of devotees of ISKCON. Once there was a Rath Yatra going on in the ISKCON temple, and there was a building that caught fire on the top. And what the devotees did, the devotees had the canopy of Jagannath. They took the canopy, they stretched it, and they made it like a spring. No, springboard बोलते हैं ना उसको, टाइम 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 जिस पे jump कर सकते हैं. People do this jumping. So they made it like that, and they told everyone to jump from the top. And many of them jumped down, and thus the devotees could rescue the life of so many. It's called a trampoline. Okay, thank you. With that, they could rescue so many lives of people. And thus, headings came in the newspaper. That was the busiest street in San Francisco where they had the Rath Yatra, and that was the biggest hotel, and that could have been the biggest disaster ever in the history. But the devotees, with their proper acharan, with their proper behavior, they could not just save so many lives, but they brought a very good name to ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada. And this is how preaching happens. When devotees, they bring a very good name, they behave properly. Yes, yadyat acharati. There are three things. There is achar, vichar, and prachar. Yes, achar means how you behave. Vichar is what you're thinking, and prachar is what you speak. Of all the three, the most important is achar, how you live. And this is what is the real preaching. By good behavior, one can make many, many, many more devotees. And the very reason why Srila Prabhupada could make so many wonderful Vaishnavas into devotees was because Srila Prabhupada behaved in such a very amazing manner. Srila Prabhupada never judged the hippies. The hippies were tagged as bums by the government of America. Hippies were tagged as useless brats. They were categorized as morons. These were all the different things. Hashtag moron, hashtag dumb fellows, hashtag irresponsible. That's how people used to tag them. But Srila Prabhupada, no. He cared for them. He welcomed them. He made them chant. He made them dance. And through such an amazing behavior of a saintly person, he inspired all the hippies to become happies. What the American government could not do even after spending billions of dollars, Srila Prabhupada did it just by his proper conduct and inspiring them to chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I thank you all very much.
Thank you so very much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful session on the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita and going a step deeper into the discussions and all about it. So we shall be starting with the Q&A session now, I guess. So there were a couple of questions that those were left from the earlier section. That Mahvesh ji का question था that can you please describe Shambhu Rishi by Ramji for doing the tapasya?
Yeah, we need to understand two things now. Only verses, two verses today, but we had a deep discussion. It's not about how much we cover, how deep we go. This course is about inner peace, right? So I just felt too good to today. Thank you. So I just like to mention about the Shambhu, the Rishi that he has mentioned. The Rishi actually was a Shudra, born from a Shudra background, and he was whimsically performing austerities without any proper guidance, without any proper direction, without proper guru. He was performing a tapasya. So we need to understand very clearly that tapasya gives a lot of bala. It gives a lot of prowess. But a person who doesn't have a guna, he doesn't have the quality, you cannot handle the prowess. In Marathi, there's a saying, Makadacha hatat talwar, which means if you give a sword in the hands of a monkey, he's going to cause disaster. Yes. He's going to cause a great disaster. He's going to cut down everything. What will happen? Or you give gun in the hand of a child. What is going to happen? Yes, it's very deadly. So Lord Ram foreseeing that this person, although even same, that is the same reason why Ekalavya's thumb was also taken out. Ekalavya may be competent, but he lacked character. अरे कुत्ता आया देख छोटा सा कुत्ता अगर डिस्टर्ब कर रहा है तो यू पुट अ स्टोन नियर बाय एंड शूट द कुत्ता ना डोंट बीट द कुत्ता दैट फेलो स्टिच द माउथ ऑफ कुत्ता व्हिच मींस ही हैज टैलेंट बट ही डजंट हैव द कैरेक्टर टू होल्ड दैट टैलेंट द सेम वाज इन द केस ऑफ दिस Shambhu Rishi. He was a Shudra and he was not qualified to hold the tapasya tapobal, and that is why he was killed by Lord Ramchandra.
Question by Rajji that when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, can you just elaborate a little bit on the word Hare?
Oh, Hare refers to the transcendental spiritual divine energy of Krishna, who is represented by Srimati Radharani.
Next question by Ashok that Prabhuji, if our karma is equal to like 50% good karmas are there and 50% of bad karmas we have accumulated so far, then for the next life, is it like a human life or something else? How these calculations do work?
So many times हम लोग maths देखते हैं plus 50 minus 50 equal to 0. No, it doesn't happen like that. You have to enjoy your good karma and you have to suffer for the bad karma. दोनों करना चाहिए. दोनों होगा आपके साथ. Both will happen. It's not that you escape something. It doesn't happen like that. Right. So you have to enjoy in heaven and as well as you will suffer in hell also. Both 50-50. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the clarification. I guess coming back to the questions with the post sessions.
Nancy
Okay.
Chaudhary ji,
Nancy,
please type in the chat. We'll take your question.
yes.
Please type. Yes. Do
Yes.
put one.
So Ashuji, ka next question that everyone says that Yudhishthir has been equal to the righteous person as a Dharmaraj, we call him. But in Hastinapur, when he had gambled his own wife. How this sounds to be contradicting in one sense. How can rightly understand this?
We need to understand that Yudhishthir Maharaj has a great track record. Please look at his track record. He's been a very great soul. But gambling match was the moment when the Pandavas forgot Krishna. Krishna was not happy with the Pandavas. Not at all. That was the time when the first gambling match, they forgot Krishna and made a lot of mistakes. So it was not very, but the material world is so dangerous that when we get into, that's what Yudhishthira Maharaj is showing the problem with this gambling. A Kshatriya has to accept gambling. It's not breaking regs for him because Kshatriya has to accept challenge. War means you have to accept the challenge. Violence also you have to do. And when it comes to gambling, there's also a challenge. You have to accept any challenge. So he couldn't refuse it. But the dangers of breaking four regs and especially gambling, it's something which is very dead. It can make a person go crazy. That's the whole lesson we learn. Even if you're Yudhishthira Maharaj, highly minded person, it happens. You have to be very careful and refrain from such sinful habits.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the detailed explanation. Next question is by Guru Vignesh ji. वो पूछते हैं कि can you please explain that Arjuna himself fought against his teacher? How this is like considered to be a sacrifice or something in that?
Very simple. He has followed the instructions of Krishna. Pleasing Krishna is the greatest sacrifice that you do. It's the greatest yajna. Yajna vai Vishnu. Pleasure of Vishnu. Krishna don't fight. Bas. Yes. So that fighting is for the pleasure of Krishna. So that's a yajna.
There was next one important question that I got on a priority. Arnav ji ka guess tha. He was stated that why children are addicted to phone and how we can make them avoid using it. This has been a really very tricky question for many of the parents.
Children are not addicted to phone. It is the parents who give the phone to the children and make them addicts. You give them Krishna, they will be addicted to Krishna. Uddhava, his parents gave him a doll of Krishna and he got addicted to Krishna. So whatever you give the child, he'll get addicted to that, he or she. So we need to understand it's the parenting that matters here. So you give the right thing to the child, he'll get attached to that. And another thing is, child is also yadyada charati sreshta. The child is also watching his sreshta. Parents doing what? Mobile phone pay. So what he will do? Mobile phone pay right now. So we are whatever demonstrate example we demonstrate. We see the child sees the father with the bead bag. How did Prabhupada see his parents? Prabhupada remembers. Prabhupada says, as soon as I get up, I used to see my mother and father ringing bell in Radha Govind, waking up the deities and worshipping the deities. And that's why Prabhupada got attached to deities. Right? So it is parents' behavior and what parents give in the hands of the child. That determines. So please we should never pass the buck on the children. The children are addicted to this phone. No, we have programmed them that way. We could have done better. Now, abhi bhi koi deri nahi hui hai. We can definitely dovetail their passions in all other numerous positive fields, constructive fields.
Thank you so very much, Prabhuji. This must have been very fruitful advice for many of the parents that are here. We have like a quite big range of audiences, starting from children themselves from 7 to 8 years of age up till like all the senior citizens we have. Mayuri ji ka next question hai regarding the first section with reference to that. You had discussed that Kaikeyi Mataji loved Ramji so very much that you had given the example of it itself. So why did she send Ram to one then? What was the reason?
I'll tell you. The reason is faithfully hearing from the wrong person. See, in this world, the root cause of all bad qualities is bad association. A bad association spoils everything. And we faithfully hear from bad association. It finishes our bhakti. It finishes our relationships. It finishes all our good qualities. Everything is finished.
Yes. Next question by Akhilji is there. That Hare Krishna Prabhuji, what all activities fall under gambling in Kali Yuga? Like, if we just want to understand this gambling word, what all like things are consisted in at this modern age that we can just keep in mind to stay away?
So gambling in terms of stock, mutual funds, FDs, all these things you can ask some grihastha. You can ask a householder devotee. They'll give you better guidance because I never did all these things in my life. Kuch kiya nahi to kya karenge? I used to earn salary. I used to have little expense for myself, give to parents, give to temple. Bas mera ye teen I wanted to join from beginning. So I never ever thought about all these things. So I don't know. So you can ask some householders, they'll tell you. By that you risk fact, basically is risking, taking a very big risk. So that but usse problem kya hota hai? You will always be taking a money. Hamesha paisa. When you chant also, Hare Krishna, paisa, dollar. Like that's how you chant. So this we're chanting instead of dollar pound, instead of Hare Krishna. Yes.
Definitely, KG. We would really love to suggest you that you can also get in touch with some of the Grihastha devotees. We have a great group here. They will surely help you out. Basically, I guess this has been a repeated, like in previous seasons also, we have discussed these things. This has been like a hot question for many people. So you are not alone. There
Okay.
has been a personal DM question to me, Prabhuji. So I shall just be directly asking that whether it is okay to keep Shaligram at our home or not.
Oh, we need to understand that Shaligram Shilas, Narayan Shilas, Narasimha Shilas, they have very, very great degree of deity worship standards. So we should never ever keep Shaligrams without Guru's permission. Only when we have the blessings of the spiritual master, then we keep Shaligram Shila. And also we should be very qualified. Very qualified. We need to be having 2 initiations to worship Shaligram. It's not something which is a child's play. So we should be very careful. We can worship pictures of Lord. See, I have a beautiful picture of Shri Radha behind. There's photos which are there. So you have frames, photo frames you can worship. It's my calendar. So that is something that you can definitely worship. Pictures. There's no problem. That is safe for all of us. Right? Otherwise, there are a lot of offenses. Seva aparad, it's called. You should be careful.
Thank you so very much, Prabhuji. It has been very detailed and very thoughtful, considerate thing for us. Tejasvi ji ka question tha ki Adya is asking her that Krishna doesn't have granny. It's like how we can explain to children about such kind of questions sometimes.
So this is our
Yeah,
Adya. Adya Shete. So Krishna has a granny. Only thing you didn't know her name. Krishna has granny. Padmavati. That's her name. Okay.
Yes. Next question is by Mulreji. That Prabhuji, if Maya Devi knows all our weaknesses and strengths and everything, then she can easily distract us from reaching to Krishna. So how we can understand this and avoid? It's kind of dilemma or something.
See, one thing is Maya knows our slot, entire slot analysis she has. Strength, limitations, opportunities, threats. ये सब कुछ Maya के पास है. She has it all on system and her system is perfect and it's getting updated every microsecond. कुछ नया weakness आ जाता है वो update हो जाता है. नया strength आता है वो भी update हो जाता है. So her system is up to date. We need to understand this. But we need to understand that for all these updated technology of Maya, there is ekmatra upay, that is Krishna ekai sharanam. Mameva e prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. We simply have to take shelter of Krishna through the chanting of holy name. We can cross over this Maya. And that's the only way. We cannot defeat Maya. What to speak of defeating Maya? Can we defeat the entire Indian army? Suppose you're facing the Indian army. Jairajpur, what do you think? You will tell us. You're facing the entire INS, Indian Naval Forces alone. Can we defeat? No, not at all. They have big ships, and all right, they can just bomb you out. Finished. We are just nihatta, not even knowing. Even if we get weapons, we don't know how to operate it. Right? So defeating Maya is you combine all the armed forces of the entire world. That will also be like a cheetah in front of Maya, a small ant. So she's too powerful, way beyond us. We need Krishna's help. It is just like a story of a small bacha who's always being bullied. But this bullied bacha has a big brother who's very strong. So who can beat up all the bullies? So Maya is like the bully. There are so many bullies. And we are like a tiny bacha who is completely powerless. But we have a bade bhaiya, Deen Bandhu bhaiya. There's a story called Deen Bandhu bhaiya Krishna also. I'll tell you all sometime later. So they can pound and beat up everyone.
Yes, surely, Prabhuji. But just to end up with one very important question that was like on a very urgency basis, sort of we can say. It was a personal DM that Prabhu ji ka unka kal exam hai actually. So he just wants to know that what kind of prayers also we can recite before sleeping or before starting the prayers that can calm our mind and we can have at least good good sleep also and not be fearful and worried, stressed and all. Like anything that we can do in that direction.
Yes. So he has his gate exam. Saurabh Prabhu, we'll all pray for you. Is here Saurabh Prabhu? Hai kya? I guess he's gone to bed early. Yeah, he's there. Saurabh Prabhu, we all will pray that you successfully write your gate exam. So what you can pray is that I'll write my exam in the best of my consciousness. Let me not forget my real admit card, the real ID card. That is something I don't want to forget. I will definitely have that in my heart and go, and we'll just do your best. Do your best, leaving the rest to Lord. Bas. Whatever happens. If Krishna, you want me to crack this exam, fine. Make me do it. With whatever marks, whatever rank you want. Let your will be done. So depend fully on Lord and just give your best. Don't worry about anything else. Okay? All the ways. Any specific prayer? Well, yes. You can recite second chapter, shloka number 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. This series you can recite. They teach you the right consciousness to do any duty, especially if you're going on a war. And GATE exam is no less than a war. It's one of the most competitive and difficult exams existing today. Yes. All right.
There has been one hand raised, Prabhuji. I guess Mataji ne thoda pehle se hand raise karke rakha tha. We can just quickly, you can just quickly question, ask the question.
Hello.
Hare Krishna, Gauriji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Can you hear me?
Very clearly, Mataji.
Yes. See, we have some Shaligramam at home, which my husband got it from his elder brother who passed away. So every day my husband does Shiva Puja, Rudram, Chamakam, all this one. So is it, but he got initiation from one guru for Panchayuta Puja. Okay. So he is having Shaligramam also. So is it fine with that? See, you said it is not, we are not supposed to keep it, but we are having 4 or 5, for Shaligramam. Is it all right? That is what I want to know.
Okay. So what we can now do is, you may definitely inspire your husband, and you yourself also, you have taken the first initiative to try to learn the science.
Okay.
We can be progressive. There is something that we have been doing it ritualistically.
Yes.
Try to understand the spirit behind it to make it completely spiritual. Spirit plus ritual equal to spiritual. So
Okay.
ritual has been happening. Let's try to learn the spirit, and let's try to bridge if there are any gaps, if we have.
Okay.
All right. And let's continue. Okay.
Okay.
Normally, if somebody has not been doing, we don't recommend somebody to get, because the Shilas are available in certain places of the Himalaya, and they're given by Guru. Number one.
Yes.
The 12 types of Shilas we have. Yes, Narayan Shila, Keshav Shila, Madhav Shila, Govind Shila. Yes. So these things, so we worship that only under the guidance of Guru who teaches. It shouldn't be done independently. But in your case, your husband's case, he's got it from his Guru. Well,
yes, from his elder brother.
Oh, elder brother. Okay, then elder brother is the Guru.
Yeah, he passed away. So
he's passed on the, yes, it's a parampara.
It has come to my husband now.
Yes, yes,
so
it's a familial tradition.
Yes, every day 2 hours he does puja, morning, Rudram Jamakam, and all the Suktam. Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, we do that for 2 hours. We do puja. Amazing. Of course, I don't sit and do it, but I help him.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. And I have my own prayers, like Vishnu Sahasranamam, Lalita Sahasranamam and all. So we do that continuously. So I just wanted to clarify this, so should we just continue? Please
continue your ritual. At the same time, get the shiksha to develop the right mood while doing the rituals. That's all I'm requesting you to.
Okay, okay. Because every day Abhishekam is being done, Rudra Abhishekam. That's why.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Dhruvan Prabhu.
Thank you so very much, Mataji. Yes, we have gone over time, so I guess we will bring end to today's section, because of the time-related constraints. I guess, right, Prabhuji? And we shall be continuing, I guess, tomorrow 8 only for the Q&A session, I guess. And we would like to just request you to kindly join at around 8 if you have any questions and queries to discuss. We will take and discuss it at length. And